let's talk Gear Chronicle. Right after a drink from today's sponsor. I've just been really tired today for some reason. You know what makes you less tired? Got all your normal energy drink stuff. It's healthier. Actually has no crash, it's so good. And if you want your own Raise or any of their other products, check out my link down below, or of course use the code SkyRidge on checkout to get 15% off. Or if you're more interested in trading card games, since I do a lot of card game stuff on the channel, also check out my link below for my Patreon TCG player, where I sell a lot of trading card stuff. Mostly Vanguard, because it's mostly Vanguard. So what's up everyone, welcome back, and welcome the first of my birthday videos. It's always weird to say that, but my birthday is actually coming up in a couple days, so I wanted to do a couple of cool topics over the next few weeks. Like, upcoming, I'm gonna be doing my coaster video for the month. We'll be talking about kind of my wish list / parks I want to, that are really up there on my to-do list, bucket list, because bucket list, that's what I was looking for. My list of bucket list parks. I'll do a cool deck profile for a clan you don't usually see me use that I've been having a lot of fun with. And of course today, Gear Chronicle. Of course for all you returning folk, you kids already know the deal about how much I care about this clan, but TLDR version of it for all you new kids. I've been playing Gear Chronicle, the time travel dragon steampunk based clan for Vanguard, since probably February 2015 is when the first set came out. Technically, if you count like when it was announced in Japan, I think it was like September, November 2014, something like that. But like it's been like half a decade now, if not more, that I've followed the path of the one true avatar, Chronojet, and played our glorious steampunk time travelers. I don't know what I'm doing with that. And I already kind of said it, but since it did originally come out in February, a cool thing about the clan, if you look at release dates, is a lot of these English releases did come out around February, so it's always kind of doubled as my birthday clan, on top of the many other reasons that I love Gear Chronicle, so I only feel appropriate to do an update for Gear Chronicle in February. I'll show you guys a real quick recap of my current deck build for Standard, kind of go over some of the pros and cons for that last update. Check out the link right up there, whatever side YouTube decides to put on, and I'll show you the last iteration, but made a couple changes that you'll see in this deck. And like I said, I'll explain those. In addition, I kind of want to give you guys a little treat. We're not going to go over the full course right now, but I keep on saying let's play Premium, let's talk about Premium. I haven't talked about Premium. Today we're going to go over one of my favorite archetypes for Gear Chronicle, the Zodiac Time Beast, and kind of the basics for that. So if you guys enjoy this, as always, like, comment, subscribe. I do stream every Sunday, and with this being my birthday special month, whatever you want to do it, I want to try streaming more often. So ring the bell icon to be notified of when I go live. I'm going to be doing a lot of Overwatch for the Chinese New Year events. I think I want to go back to doing some Fall Guys, maybe to change it up. I know last time I streamed I went into Dicey Dungeon, and that's a fun game to play, so maybe some of that. Like I said, comments below, give me some suggestions of games to play when I play games. Anyways, on to the important stuff. So for the world's quickest recap on my deck list, we got VCM McGee, a Shining Bird, the one true avatar, John Cena, Cat, Wizard Drive Check Man, Staple, a literal meme, Cat Part 2, Grade 3 Searcher, one of the better Grade 1s in Gear Chronicle, and this order card. Also, here's some triggers. There they go. And then manages a starter. You gotta run a starter, SP starter. There it is. So now that we've seen the list, let's talk a little bit about what the deck can do. Well, obviously there haven't been any physical local tournaments to go to recently or anything like that to test that. I very gratefully am able to test on a pretty regular basis thanks to Discord, primarily Drive Check. Big shout out to them, one of the big card fight podcasts that goes up every week. Cole, one of the co-hosts, one of my locals, so I've been following it for a little while, and they're cool. They do good stuff. One of those good things is the weekly league that they run, which name kind of gives it away. It's a kind of monthly Discord league where once a week we get our opponents and we're able to fight over Discord. So a lot of testing that way. I think I've had roughly a 75-80% win rate whenever I play Gear Chronicle on there. And humble brag, I have won every single mirror match for every other Gear Chronicle player on there. So at least for standard, you don't at me. We haven't done any premium stuff yet. But for standard, I can safely say I'm the king of Gear Chronicle on the Drive Check Discord. At me. Don't at me. Actually, don't at me. I'm just humble brag, but here's my babies. I have to brag a little bit. Anyways, let's go ahead and go over kind of the decision-making process for why I'm running these cards. Triggers. I kind of feel safe the way I'm running it right now. Kind of 8 crits, 4 draws, 4 heals with 1 of the Sentinel crits, so it's 1 normal draw, whatever. I might experiment more in the future with running the 12-16 crit build, or even just subbing out another perfect guard for another perfect critical. But I do kind of like having a little bit of defense with the draws, a little bit of draw power, because even though you're constantly digging through your deck with different effects, you do still need some stuff to discard for your things like your next stage, or your cob, or any of those other skills. So having discard is good. Having cards in hand to defend with is good, but so are big beefy 30k critical shields. So is that what else we talking about? Tiger. Not Chronobite, he's good, he stays forever. But the grade 2 Chronofang, Chronobite, Chronoclaw, Chronobite, I had it right the first time. He's good, but not good. Vanguard ability lets you have essentially a second draw while discarding and queue up some of your discard combos. You could discard on rear guard to give him a crit, which makes everything very threatening because you run Force 2 in this build 9 out of 10 times. Which means him staying on a Force 2 circle is going to be a rear guard swinging triple crit after you restand, after all your shenanigans and power-ups. That's scary. You have to discard constantly, but that's scary. That said though, because you have to discard a lot to utilize this card, I could see possibly opting out in the future. Not sure for what yet. Gear does have a lot of grade 2 options, but it's a good card. Run it or don't run it. He's done some cool things for me. And I said the second draw during your ride phase is amazing to help with ride stuck. What else? Mamene. The meme card. The literal one of meme. I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, I see what she's there for. Being able to discard anything thanks to Smokier Dragon, and the power up to front row is nice, but like I said, you're discarding a lot in this deck. I just can never justify using her effect when I could use something else instead for that same cost. So, like, it's a good card. I see why people run it, but especially with the clean selection coming out and us finally getting Ribble, there's just not going to be room for it, so sorry, Mamene, you're not gonna stay in the deck. A grade 1 that will stay in deck, though, maybe, is actually not a unit at all. Order of the Glares. I don't know why I'm showing these. They're gonna pop up on the screen whenever I talk about the card. Halo Bonds, Soldier Bangle. Lets you check your top 3 by soul charging a grade 2 or lower. Add 1 to hand, stack the 2 and bottom deck. Super good! Alright, so, Gear Chronicle kind of has a problem with soul. Not as much as they used to thanks to our new grade 2 that we're getting, but they do have a lot of soul loss effects and not a lot of ways to soul charge outside of Nabu, who is an absolute staple. Always run for that card, he is too good. And what this does, not only fixes your soul problem, but fixes that soul problem by letting you check your top 3 and add any card to your hand. It's basically a scry through at the cost of helping you build up some of your effects. It's so good! Even if you don't have soul for it, even if you go turn 1, you can just like pretend to drop your quick shield in. Quick shield disappears obviously because they can't go to soul, but just it's free. There is no reason not to run this card except grade space. I like it. I like it a lot. And there's other orders I want to try out in the future, like the new grade 3 one that came out. I'll flash on screen real quick. But it's basically a quickie worker as an order card. Fantastic, but it's a grade 3, aka Chronojet, aka Stradfire. Who knows? Other than that, I do like the way the deck is functioning. I mean, like I said, Gear Chronicle is additional use to your Counterblast if you're not using Chronojet for some reason. 9 out of 10 times your Counterblast will go to Chronojet, obviously. But if you don't have multiple jets on board to really make that push happen, it's nice to be able to use that Counterblast to get extra drive checks. Additionally, you can use that turn 2 as your Vanguard, which is fantastic because it gives you free twin drive turn 1, essentially. And like I've said before, I'll say it again, combo it with cards like Chronobite, combo it with cards like the new order, I guess, from Mene if you want to use her, Nabu, this, that, and the other. You draw insane amounts of cards in Gear Chronicle, and having extra drive check really helps with that. So, Aircob, do recommend. Not sure how many I'd recommend. Right now I'm doing Tech 2, and that feels pretty comfortable, so that is that. Like the deck. There'll be more stuff in the future. Let's talk premium. So, that format. This is an MLB. I just really like this deck box. Like I said in the review, it's huge. Fits so much in here with your G-Zone, your main deck. Markers, all that fun stuff. But, like I said, we're not talking about the deck list itself today. We're talking about, I guess, kind of the engine to it. To give you kind of an example of what I'm doing here with my build. Premium. Insane format. It's going to get absolutely nutty with the overdressed stuff. Now that we have nation cards that you can effectively run in any deck for that nation. I don't think we'll do it in Zodiacs, because until Darkseid gets Zodiac Time Beast specifically, they won't really do anything for the archetype, but you get the gist of it. So the Zodiac Time Beasts themselves. Obviously, as you may guess from the name of this archetype, it does revolve around the Chinese mythologies of the zodiac animals, like the dragon, the tiger, the dog, pig, the rabbit, all that stuff. So there's a bunch of animals cards based around that are also extremely steampunk because it's Gear Chronicle. They have a couple different things that they could do. You could base around the tiger build that binds a lot of stuff, which actually meshes really well with our standard supports that give us a bunch of mind-based cards. There is our Lord and False Savior, Demiurge Sama, who effectively lets you, once again, bind a bunch of cards, but this time you want to bind specific cards so that you could activate your main boss's skill to stack the deck, which is really cool, and there's a lot of big brain strategy stuff you can do with it. And of course, me as a Jet player, we gotta play the Jet variants. There's your only spoiler before I go to the table. It's more toolboxy, I think, but it does a lot of cool stuff. Let's go ahead and cut to table camera number 75, and I'll tell you a little bit about some of the cards. So in terms of ZTB, or Zodiac Time Beast, there's a lot of different pieces that you can run to make your deck into more of an aggressive beater deck, or like more of a control deck, or what have you. But like I said, we're just kind of going to go over some of the pieces today to tell you kind of how these things get set in motion. So, start with it really doesn't matter to shuffle it up down here. Starting with, this cow. Alright, so he is basically here as an early game option before you go to Generation Break. And what the cow does is basically bind itself and counterblast and draw some cards, which basically sets up your bind zone to do some stuff. It gives you early game draw, which you need because a lot of your stuff does go off of GB. And yeah, it sets up for combos in the future, so good card. I usually tech one of them. We got the Chronojet combos, the boys, the horsey, and the dragon. They have kind of similar skills where they both power up if your Vanguard is Chronojets, and they will let you check part of your deck to do a thing. So, for example, Cruising Dragon, when he attacks, you check your top 3 and add a Zodiac to your hand. And for the Pegasus, you basically check your top X for every rear guard that you currently have, and you can Superior Call one. So this gives you multi-attacks, and this lets you tutor out anything, which honestly you're gonna search out heal triggers, because spoilers, G-Guards are really, really good in this deck. So these are kind of like the original duo of just 11k beaters that let you do cool combo stuff. And like I said, they let you consistently just search your deck and call cards out. Of course, I just mentioned Jet. We have to talk about the boy. We have to talk about the truest form, Chronojet Z. There's also G, but like I said, we're only going over the basics. Remember when I did that Time Leaper video? How I said he could almost be a Chronojet Z? This is what he could be. So, 2 effects. First of all, super cool stride effect, where you could basically use your drop zone as stride fodder. So you can bind your grade 3s or your stride fodder grade 3 cards. Spoiler alert, this guy counts as a grade 3 in drop zone, so you can use him for that. That's super good, helps you stride a lot, which obviously that's the name of the game. NG is the stride. His other effect is when you stride, you could Soul Blast 1 and do the Time Reaper thing. Bottom deck either player's card. Doesn't have to be yours like Time Leaper did. Like either player's card. So it's Superior Call a card 1 grade higher than that in the deck. Bushy Road. Just give us this effect. Give us back the ability to bomb deck any player. So good for control. So good because then I can cycle my triggers back or whatever. It's just the best ability in the game, and they neutered it so much by giving us Time Leaper. He does control, he does Superior Calls, and you can use your on-place units, so it is good. This is the best version of Chronojet. The end. The beginning of Chronojet is Chronodran. So I guess I'll show off Chronodran next. Here he is. Another really good tutor card. It's going to be a running theme. When you ride him with a grade 2 or higher Zodiac Time Beast, bind, check your top 5 for a grade 1 or grade 3, add to your hand for free. By the way, when he's in the bind zone, you can discard a card and just get him back. You could discard cards for your stride fodder, or like discard this perfect guard so you can set it up, or discard this heal trigger so you can set up. These are cards that you usually don't want to discard for no reason, but you know what? In this deck, you kind of do. Because heal trigger is pretty standard, one that a lot of decks used to use. I know now everyone's saying standard heal triggers, that's 20k shield, but this is Zodiac Time Beast, so it's tribal. You can search it out with things like Cruising Dragon, and like all the other ones, when you bind it, you can bind it along with another heal trigger when you G-guard in order to countercharge or in order to soul charge, so it gives you resources back. Great card, run at least 2 even if you use the standard one, because it's just, you can't ignore this effect. And like I said, it's searchable in the deck, so sometimes opening heal triggers is a good thing. It's a perfect guard. You have another copy of her in drop zone, bind it along with a trigger, and if you do that, it goes back to your hand. Cyclable perfect guards. Awesome. In general, Chronodran's a really good card. You always run this somehow. It's best starter in the game. Why is it a common? It deserves to be secret rare. Justice for Chronodran. Other cards, I guess we're talking about zeros. Here's some other good triggers that you run. You got a counter-charging critical trigger, which is really good. Like, you honestly can survive off 1 counter blast for the entire game between things like your heal trigger and your critical trigger. It's stupid how much you use resources. And the Sheep's kind of weird. He lets you basically bottom deck one of your rear guards to restand another rear guard. So he gives you kind of complicated multi-attack, but multi-attack is always good, and it's a stand trigger. Yeah, W's stand trigger, that's kind of cool. Final cards. Hegold. Stop talking about tutoring for a second. He tutors. He lets you soul charge and counter charge and soul blast and put cards back in deck. He does everything. He's a really good grade 1. This is a really good grade 1. I already told you it's stride fodder and drop zone. Has the grade 3 in deck and in drop, which helps you search, which helps you stride. And he also has a cool ability on field where he could add +2 for every card on your board and then bind himself. So he effectively becomes a 17k booster at the cost of losing him at the end. But that's fine. You have ways of bringing cards back like this. Lego Party number 2. 10k, can't attack unless you have cards in bind zone. Guess what you're gonna do? That's fine, because after he attacks, you can counter blast 1, say bye-bye to your column, and call a grade 3 and a grade 1 from your bind zone back to the field in the same column. Once again, sets up another attack. Do things like him where he wants to bind himself and then bring right back, or Chronojet's stride ability to bring back whatever you bound. And like I said, that's just a huge booster, so it doesn't combo as well as Force Sparkers with giant numbers, but you still get multi-attacks without doing some other stuff. On to the G-Zone. Bird. Not a bird. These two were kind of the original good Zodiac Time Beast cards. Again, they still kind of serve a similar purpose to your tutor cards, where he lets you send a card back into deck to Superior Call 2 Zodiacs that are 1 grade lower than that. So like you could put a grade 3 back in to get out, like, say example, Block Party Dragon and other dragon. is that you have multi-attack and search on your board for free. Well, kind of last one, but basically for free, so. He's really good at that, plus he also has the skill in the G-Zone to continuously power up your Zodiacs. So you get a constant power up from that as long as you've flipped any of these up, which you're going to do every single time. And similarly, Bird, he makes you a new field, basically. When he attacks, you check your card for every face-up Zodiac in your G-Zone, and call one Zodiac. Once you get to your second stride, he will always make you a full board. Anytime before that, you can make 2, which kind of bad. Depends how big brain you are about your attack order and stuff like that. But you'll definitely plus off him. These are most of the time your first stride options based on your situation. So you do want to run 2 of those. Another thing you want to run 2 of is this card, because you run it like all your strides in 2 of. It's a G-Zone. This is your V standard for a deck. There's other versions for Chronojet, but this is one specifically for ZTB. He has such a free effect where your cost is to bottom deck cards from your hand or field. If you could afford to put triggers back there in your hand, you do that. Otherwise, you recycle your board and set up for a multi-attack shenanigans. And he restands with a plus 10 and minus 1 drive check. It's a really good card. This is an easy card. You run Metal Pulsar, you run him as one of. It's the alternate stride cost, basically. If you somehow cannot fulfill your first one stride, you're able to just go into him by binding any Zodiac, aka your entire deck. He also has an effect where you could like bind some cards to get him power and counter charge, so he gives you resources back. Definitely not optimal. It's definitely most of the time a flip target slash kind of filler space, but he is good for the situation that you need him, so it's good to keep one of them around just in case. G-Guards. Remember I talked about heal triggers being really good before. It's because this card exists. No, we'll do that one second last. This card exists. Chronojet is your Vanguard. This works off Chronojet being your Vanguard. And what it does is when your opponent's attacking you, you could shove a card back into their deck, and then they superior call the top card. It's mess up all sorts of stupid combos. It doesn't retire, so you're not getting rid of the attacker, but they have the potential to just superior top call into like a perfect guard or a heal trigger or something that's completely useless to them. So it's a little risky, but it's such a good defensive option. Everyone hates on it. It used to be one of the Elite Four. That's what should be the Elite. This card. This stupidly good card. Elishu, Gear Angel, I don't know what Zodiac is supposed to be, I guess some sort of bird. Basically, we were talking about bind cards this entire time for Zodiac Time Beast. Her guard gets more powerful for every card you bind. Great for defenses, but the most important thing is that, like I said, she's a Zodiac Time Beast, which doesn't matter too much, except for the last stride I'm going to show you. As this ability is based upon flipping some of your Zodiac Time Beasts back down. You want to open heal so you can go into him as fast as possible, because he just Bambies, get huge guard, stop all their attacks, and then just go lull immediately my effect. By the way, that effect, any Magic players know this little ability called Time Walk. We get to take an extra turn. He'd do that. Basically by paying his cost by flipping your Zodiacs back down. At the end of your turn, we'll destride him. So go back into your jet, then restride him, and you suddenly go back to the beginning of your turn. This is a silly finisher because your opponent's gonna be like, lol, I'm guarding everything. Okay, cool, I'm gonna do it again. And if you're able to turbo, like I wouldn't recommend this because this is your finisher, but if you're able to turbo over like all your Zodiac Time Beasts, get like, say 8 up or something like that, he does stack. So you go, activate effect, put 4 down. Cool, I'm gonna do it again. Swing, whatever, blah, 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 take my turn. Activate effect. Oh yeah, so 4 more. Do it again. You could stack turns if you're able to stack into your effects. So really cool. Recommend 1, maybe 2 if you're feeling really witty about it, but just, it's a good card. And of course, the most important part, look at this art and tell me that is not the blaster weapon for Gear Chronicle. It's Chronojet with a blaster weapon. The truest avatar. Love it. So that's all we have for this time, but I do want to do some more premium stuff in the future. I know with Overdress, a lot of people are going to be reverting back to the old format because guess what? You could use every single card in the game. And like I said, with the nations happening, format is going to get spicy. Cannot wait to play it. Like I said, we'll try to do a little bit more premium stuff in the future. Should have a couple more builds like Time Leap, I guess more like dedicated control builds. Maybe the standard plus playstyle, which goes into a really cool stride that I'd love to talk about. That's for the video. Stuff like that. Let me know down below what your favorite way of playing Gear Chronicle is if you play the clan, which you should. In addition, talking about new cards, Time Leaper Dragon, who I said I was never going to call Time Leaper, but Time Reaper unofficially is now officially Time Leaper, unfortunately. That's cool. I'm honestly been brain crafting, theory crafting my own Time Reaper Dragon. I might do that as another video sometime with kind of some like creative cards just for fun. That's, like I said, Time Leaper is awesome. I have a proxy build which I would love to show off, but I'd rather wait a couple more weeks for the set to come out so I can show you the real thing. That's all I'm gonna say about it for now. Having a lot of fun with it. They did a good job in that card design. Yeah, that and finally Dark State. As you may have read in the lore, one of the cool things I saw for Dark States is that they were united by the hero and Gear Chronicle. I'm not sure if that means the hero's from Gear Chronicle. Like, this Chronogen, I'll be so happy, but if not, whatever, new lore, 3,000 years in the future, let's go. Time traveling clans out, but the same. Because of that fact, what I want to do for my next project is kind of master the Dark Zone in order to unite it as a Gear Chronicle player. So, like, you guys already know I play Pale Man, you know I play Gear Chronicle. I'm currently working on some decks for Darker Regular and Spike Brothers. So if you're interested in seeing those, definitely comment down below, comment, subscribe, likes, all that fun stuff. Like I said at the top of the video, don't forget to check out sponsors like Raze. We got that code down below for Skybridge to get you some discounts. Check out my page on TCG Player to help you get some card game deals. If this video got you interested in Gear Chronicle, I don't know how much Gear Chronicle stuff I'll sell, let's be real. I keep it all as Gear Chronicle. But, you know, buy the game. With D format coming out, it's about to be insanely easy to get into. And hopefully later this week / early next week, I'll have up that bucket list theme park video. I gotta do a little bit more thinking on what I'm gonna put on that list. Don't forget, do streams every Sunday night. I might be streaming a little bit more often now for the Overwatch event / just do some more games online because it's really fun, even if people aren't watching, which is supposed to be cool. Ring the bell and all that. I'm done chilling. Until next time, always embrace the infinite.